Hey, what's up guys, your boy Keys, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be doing something a little different. I know normally I'm doing, reaction videos to like Omniscient Reader or like Chainsaw Man and whatnot, but today I thought, I saw Joker 2 like a couple days ago and I wanted to really let my thoughts digest before I made this video because I was very interested in doing something like this, just given the fact that if you look at the internet right now, people are, they have a lot to say about this movie. So is Joker 2 really that bad? All right, that's the question we're all asking. That's the question that everyone's wondering. And if you look at the internet right now, the answer is overwhelming yes. What do I think? Well, spoiler alert, I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I'm not about to sit here and say it's a masterpiece. It's definitely not as good as the first movie. That's for damn sure. But is it as bad as people are making it out to be? I don't think so. I don't think so. But I'll get into why, I have like a bunch of things I was writing down as I was actually looking at the movie. So I just wanted to pull that up. Also, listen, I'm gonna let you know right now, I'm not gonna re-record this, so if I make a mistake, if there's any awkward, moments, it is what it is. You know what I mean? You have to skip forward, go ahead and do so. But, that's kind of how I rock with these videos, man. I just want to kind of, go up and ramble, and I can ramble for a little bit, so that's not y'all, that's not for you. It is what it is, man. But let me go ahead and just talk about some basic things before I get into spoilers. Okay, so right now, this portion is totally spoiler free. So if you have not watched it and you don't plan to watch it, I'm not going to be spoiling anything for you, okay? So what's the first thing I have to say about this movie that I think is great? Let me talk about all the great qualities. First, cinematography is immaculate. I mean, God, it's shot so well. And like, sometimes movies, especially like when they're DC, they can be like dark and gritty, and that's like DC's thing. It's supposed to be dark and gritty, but the problem is sometimes with these movies that you can't see anything. You're right, you know what I mean? Like, but this movie I think has it does a great job of allowing it to be that dark, gritty gradient, but at the same time having enough lighting and having masterful shots that really kind of portray the emotion and the scene that is unfolding. You can tell. I'm not going to again get into specifics, but trust me when I say the director did a great job directing, okay, making sure that the shots, the camera, the lighting, all of that, and also whoever was doing the effects, the visual effects, wonderful as well. Again, whoever was doing the filtering, again, great work. So that was one of the big qualities. Number two, the acting, okay? For the most part, stellar. Joaquin Phoenix is an amazing Joker. He just is. He embodies this character of Arthur Fleck, and I truly loved how he embraced this role. I think he does a great job at showcasing emotions, especially in the face. The tics that Arthur Fleck have are very much apparent. I think that Lady Gaga was actually pretty decent as well. Let me make sure if I'm pretty sure she was what's it called, right? I'm pretty sure she was Harley Quinn. Yeah. So she did an amazing job. I loved her character as well. I think there were certain parts in terms of maybe the writing for the character that was a bit different, but in terms of her, acting wise, did a stellar job. Amazing. Another thing that I actually liked, I know people really weren't big fans of the musical number, but here's the thing, man. Y'all knew going into this movie, and if you didn't know, I don't know how you didn't know, but it was going to be a musical. It was, from the jump, from when they announced it. Now, if you weren't open to that idea of it being a musical, then the movie just isn't for you. It is what it is. I don't really care no ways about it. If you feel as though that movie suffered because it was a musical, I mean, in all respect, it could have. And I think there are moments that definitely took me out of the movie because of the musical. But what I will say is the direction that they were going with, utilizing the musical scores, utilizing those moments, was fantastic. I loved how it tied into the story because it really did mean something. You can tell what direction and what is it called? What's that word called? You can tell what they were trying to implement utilizing the musical scene, the musical scores and notes. It's very apparent. And again, I understand that people didn't really like the fact that it was a musical, but to be honest, I think it kind of added to it because it wasn't as overt as I thought it was going to be, you know? So those are a great couple of things I liked. I also loved the story progression in the beginning. I think towards the end, it started kind of becoming a little weak. I think there were a lot of missed opportunities that they could have chosen. But overall, I did enjoy the progression of the story. And even in the end, even though it didn't hit the landing as well as I think they could have, I still think that the landing that they did hit was good enough and quality enough for me to say that I enjoyed the movie. I can personally say I actually very much enjoyed the movie even up to the end because I see the vision that they were going for. And even though, again, not all story beats hit for me, at the end of the day, you know, it kind of just, how do I say this? Again, it wasn't the first movie. It wasn't the first movie. It just wasn't. But that doesn't mean it wasn't good in its own right. And again, they could have done a much better job with sticking the landing. I think especially like there were some middle sections too that like I was like, okay, this is kind of, I didn't really enjoy this. But again, overall, I think they did a good job as a follow-up movie. Okay, it's hard to beat that first Joker because it just, Joker as it was an amazing standalone film that honestly could have ended right then and there and would have been masterfully fine by itself. Again, given the fact that, you know, the audience, myself included, were demanding a sequel, they wanted to step up and try something different. And you know, I commend them. I commend them for actually trying to do something different, for actually trying to be or take a risk in this regard. So those are some of the great things. Some of the negative things, I have to say. Now, I don't want to rag on this movie all the way, but obviously, you know, because the internet has already done a good enough job of doing that, all right? But there are some negative qualities. There are. For one, I don't know, this isn't really that big of a spoiler. There were just some plot conveniences that just did not sit well for me. A couple things that took me out the movie. I'm not going to get into exactly what this led to, but you can probably guess. For it being such a maximum, you know, insane asylum with all these people who you know are insane, a lot of smoking. And I could be cool with like some people bumping a cig. You're letting inmates have lighters and matches? And it's not like that they were just like stealing them or nicking them or here and there. They didn't show anything like that. They just had them out. They just had them. Really? That's what we're doing? You're just allowing people to have lighters? You know, like that was kind of weird. There were some story beats that were very off. I told you I liked the singing. Sometimes it came at very awkward moments. I think for the most part, the musical scores were great. And I know what they were leading to. And I'll get into that in a little bit, you know, as I explain. Like I said before, I'm going to have a spoiler section as well in a second. But yeah, like it was, there were some moments where I was like taken out of the moment because of the song. I was just like, what's going on here? Like, why are we singing now? Now, eventually those moments, I think personally for me, I started getting over it. I got over the awkwardness of the moment after as the song progressed, and I was like, okay, now I'm in song mode. But there were definitely some moments that were like, did we need a song right here? Maybe not. Maybe they could have introduced it in a better way. I don't know. But there were definitely moments like that took me out of the film, and I think that does it a lot of harm. I also think that, I know I said Joaquin performance was amazing, but there was just one scene, and I know that this is supposed to be, you know, his Joker scene, but it missed the mark for me. again, I'll explain in a second, but you know, there were some moments that really missed the mark. And I think that people already were going to come into this film with a negative mindset because they already knew that they didn't like the fact that it was going to be a musical, and so they already were put off. And so all these other moments, you know, all these other problems kind of just built up to a point where it's like, I don't like this, I already didn't like this, and now I find a bunch of reasons why I really shouldn't like this. So yeah, but overall, again, I'm about to conclude the spoiler free zone. Overall, the movie is good. It's not great. It's good, not great. It's not Joker. All right, it's hard to replicate a quality movie like that was already completely different from you know, its peers within DC. It's hard to replicate something like that while still maintaining a fresh vibe and atmosphere. Now, I think I have ideas of what they could have done, and I'll talk about in a second. But that's my general vibe. I think that Joker 2 was not bad. It just wasn't as good as the original Joker. And in fact, it was nowhere close to being as good. But it doesn't mean that it was a bad movie. And I would actually recommend people who did enjoy the first one and who don't mind musicals to give it a shot. You might actually enjoy it. Because a lot of people, I think they were already going to jump the gun and just hate it. But I personally think, just give it a try. All right, just give it a try. But that's my honest opinions, okay? I think I'm actually going to make another video. So I'm going to make a part 2 video containing the spoilers, okay? So, with that being said, if you guys, you know, let me know what you guys think about in the comments. If you guys saw Joker 2 and you think I'm just talking absolute, you know, BS, think I'm just chatting right now, go ahead and let me know in the comments. Tell me this is a terrible take. You obviously, you know, don't have great film taste. You know, let me know in the comments, all right? But we can have a conversation about it. But that's my honest opinions. Those are my honest opinions, okay? I thought that Joker 2 was a cool movie. I enjoyed it. I just think that they missed the mark on some, you know, big moments. And I also think that, again, they could have changed around some of the writing and it would have been a quality movie. I really do. I really think it could have been at the same level, maybe a little bit less, maybe not as great as Joker, but it could have had just as great success had they made a few tweaks. And one large tweak. But I'll talk about that in the other video. But anyways, like I said before, I'm ending the video right here, so I'll catch y'all in the next one. Watch the spoiler reaction if you don't care about being spoiled, or if you've already seen the movie. I'm about to post that in a little bit too. See ya.